You don't look tired to the world. You still reply to messages. You still show up when needed. You still do what is expected of you. But inside, something feels quietly heavy. Not painful enough to cry loudly. Not dramatic enough for anyone to notice. Just heavy enough to make everything feel slower than it should. You wake up and already feel behind. Not behind in work. Not behind in life milestones. Just behind yourself. There was a version of you that had more energy, more curiosity, more patience. And you don't know exactly when that version started fading. You didn't break. You didn't fail. You didn't give up. You just kept going for too long without being refilled. Quiet tiredness is different from normal exhaustion. Sleep doesn't fix it. Rest doesn't solve it. Even good days don't completely erase it. Because the tiredness isn't in your body. It's in the place where hope gets stored. You've been strong in silence for a long time. You learned how to function while feeling empty. You learned how to smile while feeling disconnected. You learned how to say, "I'm fine," without even thinking. And the dangerous part is this. When you live like this long enough, you forget what fine actually feels like. You don't need motivation right now. You don't need advice. You don't need someone telling you to be grateful. You need permission to stop pretending that everything is okay. There's a quiet grief in realizing that no one really sees how tired you are. Not because they don't care. But because you never learned how to show it. You became reliable. You became the one who handles things. You became the one who listens. And somewhere along the way, you stopped being listened to. This tiredness shows up at night. When distractions are gone. When noise fades. When your mind finally has space to speak. That's when thoughts you've been avoiding start lining up. Questions you've been postponing come back. Feelings you buried gently tap on the door. You scroll. You watch. You distract yourself. Not because you're addicted to your phone. But because silence feels too honest. You're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. You're emotionally overworked. You've been carrying things that were never meant to be carried alone. Expectations. Responsibilities. Unspoken disappointments. And yet, you still show up. That matters more than you realize. There's a reason you feel tired even when nothing big is wrong. Your life might look stable from the outside. But stability without emotional safety is still exhausting. You've been surviving, not resting. There's a difference between taking breaks and actually feeling safe enough to let your guard down. Your body may sit down, but your mind never really does. You're always slightly alert. Always anticipating the next task. The next demand. The next thing that could go wrong. That constant readiness drains you quietly. You don't talk about it because it feels hard to explain. You don't want to sound weak. You don't want to burden anyone. You don't want to be misunderstood. So you keep things light. You keep things short. You keep things moving. But inside, you feel like you're always catching up to yourself. You're not broken for feeling this way. You're human. Humans weren't designed to be productive machines. They were designed to connect, to pause, to feel safe. And safety isn't just about money or shelter. It's about feeling like you don't have to perform to be accepted. Somewhere along the way, you learned that being useful made you valuable. Being calm made you easier to deal with. Being strong made you respected. So you adapted. But adapting for too long turns into exhaustion. You might feel guilty for feeling tired. You might tell yourself others have it worse. You might minimize your own feelings. But pain doesn't work on comparisons. Your tiredness is valid because you feel it. You don't need to justify it. You've been carrying emotional weight without realizing how heavy it became. Old disappointments. Unresolved conversations. Dreams you quietly adjusted instead of abandoning. That kind of tiredness doesn't disappear overnight. And that's okay. You're allowed to slow down without having a dramatic reason. You're allowed to rest without earning it. You're allowed to be quiet without explaining. You don't owe constant energy to the world. Right now, hear this clearly. You are not falling behind in life. You are recalibrating. Sometimes tiredness is your system asking for gentleness, not pressure. You don't need a full reset. You need small moments of honesty. Moments where you stop pushing yourself to be okay. Moments where you admit, even quietly, this is hard. Strength doesn't always look like persistence. Sometimes it looks like listening to your limits. You've been strong long enough. Now it's time to be kind to yourself. Not forever. Just for now. Here's the truth that doesn't get said enough. Being quietly tired doesn't mean you're losing. It means you've been trying. You didn't end up here by accident. You ended up here because you cared. Because you stayed. Because you didn't walk away when things got heavy. That matters. You don't need to become a new person to feel better. You don't need a perfect routine or a sudden breakthrough. You need permission to be human again. Healing doesn't start with fixing your whole life. It starts with one honest breath. One moment where you stop fighting yourself. You don't have to have answers right now. You don't have to know what comes next. It's enough to know this. You are allowed to exist without constantly proving your worth. This tiredness is not the end of you. It's a signal. A pause. A reminder that you've been giving more than you've been receiving. And that can change. Not all at once. Not dramatically. But quietly. Gently. In ways that don't demand more from you. If today all you do is listen, that's enough. If all you do is stay, that's enough. You don't need to rush out of this feeling. You just need to stop judging yourself for being here. The truth is this. You are not weak. You are worn. And worn things don't need to be thrown away. They need care. So take this moment with you. Let it sit. Let it soften something inside. And when you're ready, not when the world demands it, you'll move forward again. Until then, you're not alone. You were never alone. And if you ever need a quiet place to rest, this space will still be here.